Happy spring and welcome to my front porch and backyard garden. So the front porch is all set with my inside plants outside now, and I'm getting ready to give you a little tour. So here is the front porch. I've got my peace lilies, pothos plants, things that I keep inside during the winter. They're all out in full display now, and it looks so pretty. I just love it. All of the cushions and pillows have been cleaned and set out, and this swing was made for me 40 plus years ago, and I love that swing. I got new ferns this year. The other ones did not make it through the winter. There is my bearded dragon begonia. This pothos plant is probably 15 years old, and it loves springtime. It loves to be outside. So we're going to move over to the other end of the porch, and my big black cast iron tub has got a new coat of paint. These are the peace lilies that desperately need separating, but you can see that new green growth is coming out. They love the outside when it's warm. And then I brought this plant that was on my fireplace out, and it will grow. This star was picked up at an antique shop, junk shop. And then I've done the whole porch in like red and white and green. Got all kinds of plants that I pulled out of the greenhouse. I have this basket that I made, and I do have a video on how to make this. I will link that below. It's so easy, and every year it just looks better and better. And then of course I have my fountain down on the end, and I made this last year, so I do have a tutorial video on that, and I will leave that in the description box. There is my spring Christmas cactus that's ready to bloom. And I brought all my aloe out of the greenhouse. I have so much aloe. I need to give some of it away. I've just got too much. And this plant I purchased last year, and it has doubled in size. So it loves this spot. And then there's my wandering Jew plant I picked up this year. And I'm just so tickled with everything, how it looks. Just like I like it for spring and summer. So let me know in the comments below what you think and if you've gotten your porch ready. And let's move on to the backyard garden now. It is coming along nicely. The zucchini and the squash are bearing fruit, but I am having to hand pollinate. There's not a lot of bees out yet, but these are just doing great. This is squash, and they're just loaded with little squash, and I'm losing some of them, but I am trying to go out every morning and hand pollinate with a paintbrush to try to get some more. And that's what's leading me to plant a lot more flowers in my backyard. These are cucumbers that are just starting to climb up this trellis. I'm just real excited about that. I've got cucumbers all over the garden. This is the zucchini patch. Look how beautiful those leaves are, and they too are loaded with fruit and blooms. So I'm really hoping for a good harvest of zucchini. And then this is Amish paste tomatoes, and I grew these from seed, and they are looking wonderful. I'm really excited about these. And I also have several more varieties throughout the garden, and a pot of onions. Over here I have butternut squash that does real well growing up this trellis, and they even have little fruit on them. And then this is spaghetti squash, so I'm really hoping to get a good harvest of spaghetti squash. And now we're going to move towards the back of the garden. I've got marigolds planted everywhere, and this is a good idea if you don't have any garden space. Put a cucumber plant in a pot, and then just add a couple of pieces of fencing, and it will grow right all over that fence. Now these are two more different varieties of cucumbers, and these where I had beans last year, I've moved that around a little bit. This is my Better Boy tomatoes, and they are really getting tall. I gave them a good fertilizing, so I should see a lot of growth. This is the celebrity variety here, and I'm real thrilled with the growth here. These are my Kentucky Wonder pole beans that are going to grow up over this cattle panel and make a really nice tunnel. And then another cucumber plant in a bucket with some fencing zip tied in place. Now we're going to move back to my red potatoes, and y'all, these are doing so well. I peek in here every once in a while, and now potatoes are starting to come up out of the dirt, which means I've got to add more dirt because you do not want the sun to hit those potatoes. If the sun hits it, they'll turn green and then you won't be able to eat them. It's poisonous. So there's some little ones coming up. I'm going to add some more dirt to this today. Cover those back up. You don't want the sun to hit them. But these potatoes were planted back in January. They've been through several cold snaps and they're just doing great. So I can't wait to get the harvest from these. And then we're going to move back up to the back of the house, and we'll take you on a little trip into the greenhouse, but we'll just move slowly through the yard to see how everything is filling out now. And with these warm days, it is really going to take off in growth. And here is my brick herb garden, but this year, look at that rosemary plant in the middle. It is just going nuts, and that was started with just a little seedling plant. And I have planted calendula all throughout this bed because I want the flowers, and I want to be able to make some really good soaps and lotions with that calendula. Over here, my leftover cucumbers and tomatoes, I just stuck them in this area. And now we'll head on into the greenhouse. And my cabbage is doing so well. It is the early Dutch round from Hosstool. This was from seed also. Pretty much everything in the garden was from seed that I started back in January and February. But look at that lovely head. Oh, I love fresh cabbage. So we still got a ways to go, but it's doing great. The bugs have not gotten to it, so I'm real happy about that. These are the little cherry tomatoes that I'm going to try growing inside of this polytunnel. I've got those staked up. I'm still picking Swiss chard. My carrots have doubled in size, so they're loving this high tunnel. And then my onions are kind of sprawling all around. I haven't checked those bulbs yet. More tomatoes, and I'm going to add in more things as I take out. And this is purple cabbage, very slow to head, but we're just keeping our fingers crossed that they'll take off like the Dutch round cabbage has. So this little high tunnel is worth every penny to me. It's been great, and I am going to be using that this winter. We're going to move over to the front side yard. I wanted you to see this fig tree that is absolutely gorgeous. This started as a gift from a friend, a little seedling, and now it is huge and always produces a large amount of figs. Now we're going to go in this side gate, and I just want to show you what I've got going on here. I'm working on building a little sitting place right here in this corner. This is a picture of what I want, and I'm going to fill it with flowers. I've got some hanging baskets going on now, but I just want this to be like a little garden entrance. So I have a box of wildflower mix, seed mix that I've poured in there, and all the way around that I am going to build a platform and start a herbal tea garden. And I'll show you all my teas that I've got planted, but this is mainly to attract the bees and hummingbirds to the backyard. So I've purchased some plants, put those in there that are supposed to attract bees and hummingbirds, and I can't wait to see all the beautiful wildflowers that are now coming up. But I've got to get some bricks this weekend, put that around this box so I can start my herbal tea garden. And I want to plant flowers all down this side. It gets good morning and afternoon sun. Now in front of my greenhouse is my purple garden, and I've got it filled with all kinds of purple plants, and just every year this one comes back on its own, the clematis, and this is verbena. It's just so pretty. I love this little garden nook. on this part of the backyard. And that's up the side of the greenhouse. And then on the other side of the house, I've just started working on this side of the fence. And here is the herbal tea garden that I am getting ready to start. I've got lemon balm, I've got sweet mint, peppermint, grapefruit mint, and spearmint. Then I've got some little seedlings in these ice cream containers, but I'm looking for a chocolate mint. So I'm going to be going to an herbal farm tomorrow to find some more mint varieties, and then I can get started on that garden for teas. And I will cut these, dry them, and make my own teas. And that is a eucalyptus plant that I just got. So I'm real excited about growing my own eucalyptus in the backyard. And all of these will be transferred back to that back corner right in there after I get the brick laid down. Now, I have been binge watching Jerry Landers over at Hopalong Hollow, and she divides her property into all kinds of little small gardens. Boy, I've gotten such great inspiration from her. I'm going to leave a link to her channel below in the description box if you'd like to go, but that's where I got the idea for the herbal tea garden. Now, I do have my green stalk loaded with basil, chives, cilantro, and now it is ready to start growing. So I got that done today. I've got more herbs and Swiss chard and strawberries planted here on the back deck. So it's been a very busy spring. Over here on the side garden, it's a little smaller this year, but I have bell pepper and jalapenos in there, okra, and some butter peas that are going to grow up on that cattle panel. So this has just gotten started. So I'm really excited about the 2024 gardening season. I hope you'll stay with me. I did save a little patch right here for me and Callie to play soccer in. She loves for me to kick the ball to her. And so I haven't completely filled up the backyard. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this little tour of my front porch and backyard. This is my passion. I love gardening. So thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe and share. Y'all have a very blessed day.